When you're young, it feels like you have so much time. Time that you don't know what to do with. You just know that you have it. People tell you constantly that life is short and that you need to make the most of it. Sometimes you listen, sometimes you don't. Okay, so I recently turned 25 and there's many things that I've learned in this journey of life. There's many mistakes that I made, many lessons that I learned. And yeah, they've all led me to being the person that I am today. I'm gonna share some of these things with you because I feel like getting older, like growing up, can actually be kind of scary or intimidating because it genuinely feels like you never know what to expect. And sometimes it feels like life just does whatever it wants to do, and if it wants to throw a big obstacle in your way, it will do that. Or if it wants to be smooth, it will do that as well. And yeah, you literally never know what to expect. It's all well and good having people around you that can guide you and show you the right path to take. But the true lessons, the ones that stick, are the ones that you learn through experience. Unfortunately, that experience usually comes in the form of mistakes. We live and we learn. You've probably heard that saying a million times, but there's a good reason for it. Sometimes the only way to truly know if the path that we're on is the right one is to see where it leads. Okay, so the first thing that I want to talk about in terms of personal growth and mindset is actually consistency. I feel like consistency is at the foundation, at the forefront of everything that you're going to do. Like, consistency is literally your best friend. No matter what you're doing, whether you want to go to the gym and build your body, whether you want to learn a new skill, consistency is always going to be the one thing that's going to take you there. The way I see it is that as long as I believe in myself, there's literally nothing that I can't do as long as I apply consistency. And for me, that's been the philosophy that I try to live by, and it's helped me kind of not put myself in like a small box and limit myself. And it's kind of helped me explore other areas or other strengths that I might have, because I just know that as long as I practice or be consistent at something, I will eventually get there. So yeah, one thing I always tell people is that if they want to try something new or be better at something new, then mastering the art of consistency is literally the number one thing that you want to be doing. Without consistency, there's literally nothing. Like, I don't see how you could get anything that is worth getting without consistency. And the second thing that I want to talk about is that nobody cares about you as much as you think they do. And I mean that in a good way. I'm not trying to say nobody cares about you and you're alone and all that kind of stuff. What I'm trying to say is that you might feel like you're at the center of attention or the protagonist or whatever, but in other people's lives or from other people's perspectives, your situation, your circumstances, your life just isn't as important. You're literally like a side character in their own lives. They're the protagonist of their own life. So if you have any flaws that you think people might be judging you on or people might be focusing on you on, trust me, they're not. They're too busy thinking about their own flaws, their own insecurities. So yeah, don't worry so much about what other people think about you. And I feel like especially when growing up, judgment from our peers is what really holds us back from doing anything that we want to do, to be fair. Whether it's how we want to dress or something new that we want to try, we don't always do it because we're scared of how other people will perceive us. And I feel like as a result, we miss out on a lot of experimenting, a lot of exploring, which, to be fair, I feel like that's what your early 20s are for. Like, you should be exploring, you should be trying new things, you should be failing, you should be doing all kinds of things, but being held back by other people's opinions shouldn't be one of those things. So yeah, next time you're worried about doing something because of others' perception, just remember they've got their own stuff going on that they're too busy thinking about to even be focusing on what you've got going on. Number 3 is actually trusting your gut. And for me, that's been something that's helped me out quite a lot. I've been in a lot of situations where, let's say maybe, I don't know, I meet this new person and I just feel it in my gut that, like, this person ain't right. Or they're probably somebody that I shouldn't get too close to. Like, I can always just feel it in my gut. And I've always listened to that gut feeling. And so far, it's actually never been wrong. I feel like somehow you can just feel it when a person's values just don't align with yours. You can just feel it in their energy, even in your body. You just somehow know. I don't know how to explain it, but I'm pretty sure you've experienced it, so you kind of know what I'm talking about. But obviously I'm not saying judge a book by its cover or anything like that. But what I am saying is, if you do get that gut feeling, there's a good reason why you're probably getting that feeling. So proceed with caution, because yeah, like I said, there's a reason why you're getting that gut feeling. Growing up isn't just about becoming wiser and making better decisions. It's also a realization that your body has limits, and that in order to maintain it, you have to make certain sacrifices. I remember when I was younger, I could literally eat whatever junk I wanted and there was no consequences. Like, I could literally have the most terrible diet, but there will be zero consequences. But now, obviously I'm not that old, so the consequences are still limited, but I can definitely feel and see those consequences a lot more than when I was younger. For example, I've put on weight, and when I do get into periods where I just get into like a bad eating habit, I do see a weight change on the scale, or like physically and visually. But like back then when I was younger, I could eat like that 5 days straight and I'll be fine. So yeah, one thing about getting older is that you start realizing what kind of limits your body actually has. And you know what the annoying part is as well, is how hard it is to actually lose weight. Like, if you've ever tried to lose weight, you just know how hard it can be, especially if you love food. Like, if food is your thing, losing weight is not easy. Like, you're always hungry, you're always craving food. And yeah, man, it's tough out here, but sometimes you just gotta do it, you gotta firm it. Another limit that I learned as I'm getting older as well is that your mental health actually affects your physical health as well. When you're feeling stressed or you're not taking care of yourself, it actually does manifest itself onto your body physically. For example, some people, they can actually get tired, have low energy levels, or for example with me, I can sometimes, like, I'm not a big skincare person or whatever, but I can sometimes see it on my skin. Like, on days where I feel stressed or whatever, I can see it on my skin. Like, sometimes I get spots, and I'm someone who doesn't necessarily get spots like that, but I can definitely get them if, let's say, I'm going through a stressful period. Whereas back in the day, I didn't have to worry about that. I could pull all-nighters, I could do all kinds of things without sleeping, and I would still be fine. But obviously now, nah, I wouldn't try that now, to be honest. I don't know why I'm talking like I'm mad old. I'm obviously not, but even being 25, there's like little small things that do change in your body, which I feel like these changes only get more and more amplified as you get older. One thing that I quickly started to understand the value of as I got older is relationships. When you're young, you've got so much ahead of you, new people that you're going to meet, so you don't always understand the true value of having solid relationships. One thing that you start learning very quickly about friendships and relationships as you get older is that they actually require maintenance. Obviously, when you're younger, you have friends, like you have plenty of friends, like random friends from places that you have to go to, for example, school and stuff. So it's kind of easier to make friends when you're younger. But obviously, as you get older, you don't necessarily always want to make friends with your work colleagues, because it's just like, yeah, they're your work colleagues. You can be friends, but that friendship, more time, is superficial. That's been like that for me anyways. But like the solid friendships that I have outside of work, you have to kind of make the effort to actually meet up or plan stuff, because obviously everyone's busy, everyone's got stuff going on that they need to focus on. So if you don't actually make the effort or make the time, you know, months go by and you don't see those friends. And sometimes so much time can pass that you end up kind of growing apart a little bit, because obviously people change, and sometimes when you haven't seen somebody in a very long time, the changes that they've gone through, the person that they are now, is too different from the person that you became friends with, and you kind of don't really align anymore and you sort of grow apart. So yeah, if you want to keep friendships strong, then you actually have to put in the effort to kind of keep in contact and actually meet up. And another thing that you learn about these friendships as well is that quality matters way more over quantity. There's no point having a big group of friends and all of them are superficial friendships. What you need is a smaller group of friends that you can really trust, that you can really build deep connections with, and a deep sense of trust. And I feel like for me, that's what's worked, because I do find it a little hard to kind of make new friends or make superficial friendships. I kind of like my smaller groups of friendships, because at the end of the day, I know that's the people that I'll actually be able to count on. There's no point having 50 friends, but then 0 people that you can actually count on. And the last thing that you learn about friendships is that they don't last forever. Some friendships, I guess they weren't meant to be forever. Some friendships, they were there for the moment, and they'll get to a certain point where you don't speak to that person anymore, or you're just no longer friends. Like, you're not beefing or anything, but you just kind of grew apart and you're on different paths now, which is fine. Like, it happens all the time. Friendships do end, especially in your younger years. You kind of feel like, oh, these friends were going to be friends for a very long time, but more often than not, that's not the case. Like, you don't end up being friends for that long. Had to go and deal with something real quick, but I'm back now. But yeah, with friendships and growing apart is literally part of life that we all go through. So that's something to be expected. It will happen to everybody, but you will meet new people. So people will come and go, but the true ones will stay.